All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's comic book ranking. I'm LK. I've got along with me RDV. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, sir.
Wonderful. We've got the Lester.
Hey.
Oops, we got the Lester sisters, Melissa and Amy.
Yep.
How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Just sitting up with the kittens. They're little girls doing
you got kittens, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at this point, I think we're failed fostering, but.
And okay, you address them as girls. How are you girls doing? Not guys.
I'm okay with it.
God, did I say guys? Well, women.
Right.
Women. So, yeah.
Sexist.
Well, it's great to have you back. We've missed you the last few days, so I hope you enjoy seeing these covers. And last and certainly not least, our professor of comicdom, Eric Breen. How are you, sir?
I can't believe everyone's here to see me.
You know it.
Yep, they're all here to see you. So good evening, everybody in the chat. And of course, if you watch this on later, thank you for joining us. Again, if you like this kind of content that we're doing, and we're having a lot of fun putting together, please click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, make sure you hit all, so you get all the notifications whenever we have a stream going. If you want to support the channel, certainly drop $1 in the Ko-Fi bin there, kofi.com/Englandine from I Love Comics, and we'd appreciate it. So tonight's books that we're looking at,
Okay, sir.
Yes.
For RDV, should I do Jackson's last line there?
Yes.
Or second to last line. Finally, the Lester sisters have come back.
Yay!
I love comics.
Wait. Actually, you should be saying, "Hello, ladies."
I was going to do that next.
Well, you should have done that first.
I'll do it like Mrs. Doubt Venus.
Doubtfire.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Oh boy, it's gonna be one of those nights, isn't it? All right.
Yep.
So yeah, well, thank you everybody here so far. Of course, if you've been on one of our streams before, you know how it goes. But if you haven't, let's pull up the list here as I get the window set up. I always like to drag myself here to the bottom.
Pull up the rules.
Pardon me?
Pull up the terms of service and rules.
Yeah, we'll pull up the terms of service. So again, of course, our rating scale is 1 to 10, with 1 being god awful, all the way up to 10, which is super awesome. We're taking a look tonight at one of the best maxi series, I guess, to come out here in the 80s, which was Marvel's Secret Wars, not to be confused with the later 2000s version.
That didn't
so, what was that, Eric?
That didn't happen.
It didn't happen, of course. So, all right. So we'll go ahead and kick things off. We'll bring up here issue number 1. And issue number 1 of a 12-issue limited series, Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. And Eric Breen, tell us, can the combined might of Earth's most powerful superheroes defeat the Ultimate Menace?
Why, yes, LK, I do believe they can, but I think it's going to take all 12 issues.
Probably.
And would you like me to attach a number to that, sir?
If you would, please.
Well, I'll do that, Ms. Tate. I will give this a 10. This has become a fairly iconic cover, and it's all the heroes rushing toward the unknown, since we don't know who they're fighting yet. And I like it. Everybody, you can clearly tell who everybody is in the cover, and it's a 10.
Alrighty, a 10 from Eric. And let's see, next on the list, RDV.
Well, I love the Hulk's doing the Naruto run. That's what's great. Spider-Man, I love his pose. Who's doing this cover? The artist?
Mike Zeck.
Mike Zeck. I love that. I love when they show Spider-Man kind of leaning into and swinging like that. Yeah, it's just got a book of who's on here. It's great cast. Shows you're getting a good lineup of heroes. This isn't a clickbait cover. Iron Man's got his nose armor,
Oh, good. Gotta keep his nose safe.
right? And yeah, I'm liking this. Get the floating heads in the upper left corner. Cyclops has got his cool costume.
Yeah.
Not really
Rogue's
caring
got
for,
her skunk stripe.
yeah, I'm not really caring for the costume she's wearing though. The green one. I like the jacket first. 90s.
Yeah.
But and the thing's got no teeth. It's weird.
Big debate on Twitter today, apparently.
I know, right?
Yes.
Does it's for having teeth or no teeth? But honestly, I'm giving this a 10.
A 10. All right. Melissa, your thoughts?
This is an exciting cover. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else do you want. What could anyone want in the cover? Yeah, I'd say 10 too. Yeah.
A 10. All right.
Wow, we want more
Amy?
Cowbell.
Well, it's well drawn and it has a lot of characters in it. I feel like since this is like an ensemble book, that probably it's going to be more about having a large cast and being actiony rather than telling a story. So I don't think it's as much fun as a lot of the covers that we have been looking at, but they certainly did get a bunch of IPs in there. Yeah, but it is very well drawn. Yeah, I guess I'll give it a 9.
A 9. All right. And let's see. Comes down to me here. Yeah. Opening cover. I mean, it tells you you're going to get a lot of different heroes. I'm not quite ready to give it a full 10. Although, I mean, again, I do like seeing the good or Photon. Although at this point in time, I think she was still Captain Marvel. Seeing Monica there in the middle, in one of her better costumes. But yeah, I'm gonna go a 9 with this one for now. So let's see what we get from the chat here. So hello to Ethereal Dragon, and wow, he starts out with a high score for him. He goes with a 9. Joe Dog, welcome. Thanks for joining. He gives us a 10. Jackson gives us a 7. Dark Admiral gives. And Marania says it shows the heroes involved in the war, well-drawn, dynamic layout, score a not-so-secret 10. And then we get Dark Admiral saying he feels that Mike Zeck is underrated. I'll certainly make an argument there. JP Fawn says this cover is fairly iconic. I almost said ironic. And he gives it a 10. I Love Comics. Hey, look who's here. He gives it a 10 as well. One Slick Dude gives it a 9. Rhaegar comes in with a 9 as well. Daniel St. John, hey, welcome. He says just throwing the characters together doesn't say much. He gives it just a 4. Interesting. That will kind of drag things down here. And Movie Mojo, hey, welcome. A great rally cover, one of the best. He gives it a 10. And then we've got Eric and Boyd coming in, and he comes in with a late 9. So let's see what we've got so far. We've got that lone 4 sitting out there, plus a lone 7.
We just got another 10 from Glinzer.
Oh, and a 10 from Glenzer. Okay, that puts us in double digits for the 10s. Let's see. So we've got 6 9s, and we've got 10 10s. And let's see. It's all we've got here so far. And we put that into the magic box here, and it comes out to a 9. So we open up pretty strong here with a 9. Come on, get up here. There we go. A good solid 9 opener to start with. We did have 10 9s, but 10 10s rather, but the 4s there kind of dragged it down.
All right.
So we will go on to issue number 2. And RDV, you get to start us off on this one. Oh, Get Off My Lawn comes in with a late 10. All right.
Well, you never. Okay, you did put a stop in there.
Does
Yeah,
that
I did put a stop up. So, hey, welcome to Get Off My Lawn. thanks for joining us. So once again, anybody who's come in late, we're ranking on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being super awesome. And with that, issue number 2, you're up, Venkman.
Floating
What's your
heads.
ranking?
Dude, you got floating heads again. You got Magneto on the screen there. Sorry, Magneto for those who don't know what he is. Who are you? No. I'm digging this. You know, got the explosion in the background. You got the useless. Wait, is that Dormammu? Mamu on the upper left?
No, that's Human Torch.
Oh, my bad. It's hard to tell. He's a floating flaming head.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, it is kind of weird seeing like the Spider-Man without the rest of the body too.
Yeah.
They're all just like little basketballs behind him.
Well, I'll get to it with mine, but yeah, go on.
I know. It is kind of weird. I'm gonna give this a 9 though.
A 9. All right. Melissa.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 9 too.
Okay.
Yeah, those are very nicely drawn heads. And it's definitely exciting. It's definitely like it's exciting, but if you don't understand the tradition of just drawing heads into a cover, it does feel a little. Your mind felt like you could interpret it the wrong way. Thinking like you're like, oh no, these heads are all attacking Magneto, and
They're gonna bite him.
and they're gonna bite him.
Hulk's already thinking about it.
Daniel was saying the cover tells us little about the story. It's a secret war. They're not going to tell you. It's a secret.
Yeah, it's a secret. All right, Amy, what about your score?
Yeah, I mean, it's well drawn and the colors are nice. I think the fact that the thing is like a little ball with a face on it is kind of amazing. So I'll give it a 9.
A 9 as well. Okay. Well, one comment I wanted to make, because Venkman mentioned the Spider-Man bubblehead there, and I see it, and I swear it reminds me of something out of, if you've ever seen the How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way book that came out. I swear you could see that in there, where it'd be how to draw Spider-Man. Okay, well, first you make an oval, then you put a line down the middle, then you put, it really feels almost like that.
Then you draw Spider-Man.
So it's interesting. It's interesting seeing some additional heroes, characters that weren't on the first issue, like Reed Richards there, and She-Hulk. But again, as kind of some others alluded to, it doesn't really tell you much of the story. So I'm going to stick with a 9 here as well.
Is that Janet up there, or is that Rizzo?
I believe that's Janet. If you want me to go around, I believe that's Janet.
I know. That's it.
So Eric.
Hey Venkman, you know what his name would be in WWE? He'd be Magneto. and he's not happy. He's not happy because he had Florida in 6. I gotta give us a 10 because I said floating heads are my weakness. So, and if you've been reading Marvel comics at the time regularly, it's what they're telling here, but you can't tell by the covers.
Yeah,
the Beyonder placed Magneto on the heroes' side, and they're all like, "What?"
Oh, no wonder he's pissed off.
Then he bangs Jan.
Yep.
Because just like everybody loves the Acclaimed, everybody bangs Jan.
Yep.
So dear God help me. I'm going to say, so she was saying, "Scissor me, Daddy."
Yes, she was.
Okay. All right. I got it out of my system. Okay. Let's see what the chat is saying here.
So did Magneto.
God. Thank goodness this is a late night stream, right, folks? So we've got Glenzer coming in with a 9. We've got Ethereal Dragon here with an 8. We've got Eric and Boyd coming in with a 7. Joe Dog, a 9. Again, as Daniel agrees, he says the cover tells us a little about the story, while as Rhaegar says, hey, floating heads equal a 10, plus you've got Eric Leschner empowered. So there's our second 10. We've got One Slick Dude with 9, still no context on the covers. Fair enough. Joe Dog wasn't a big X-Men guy, but he does love Magneto. That's cool. JP says Floating Heads and Behold the Villain gives it a 9. I'm seeing a pattern here. Cleanser Thor by Odin's Beard. Why is my head right beneath Magneto's junk? Well, that's where you chose to put yourself. Daniel saying the cover tells us nothing but throwing characters together. What happened to the covers that tell the story? He gives it a 5. Well, it's definitely interesting because you are definitely getting a different style of cover than we saw last night with the Crisis on Infinite Earths covers. But we'll see how these improve or not. Let's see. Ethereal Dragon saying, is Sue pregnant this time? I can't remember why she isn't with them. Eric?
Yeah.
Yes. She was pregnant with the second child that they lost.
Okay. Dark Admiral saying Spider-Man's getting a little upcake view. I'm kind of disappointed and disgusted. Well, he's wearing tights. I don't think he's seeing much. Get off my lawn. Hey, says background explosion looks good. The heads look good. Magneto looks like a Biden taking it. Okay, he gives it a 7. And then we've got Jackson with an 8. And Dan Alvin, hey, this is how to make floating heads work. This is Zek 2, right? Yes, I believe all these are going to be Mike Zek covers. So 8 for all the perfect facial expressions. And I Love Comics is also coming in with an 8. And let's see, Marania confirmed that Sue was pregnant. Let's see, Marania says, hey, this villain takes center stage in front of the floating heads. Totally awesome. Another non-secret 10. Well, I have a feeling we found the person that's going to give a 10 to just about every cover. And I Love Comics comes in and says, there are worse things that Janet can do than go with an evil dude. Yeah.
Well, it's not me, Easy Grader. So
yeah. So let's see. I will put up the stop sign unless there's anybody else who wants to put in a rating here. But what we've got a 5, we've got 2 7s, we've got 4 8s, we've got 8 9s, and we've got 3 10s. So that's 8, 11, 15, 17, another 18 votes. So thank you, folks.
well, it's good. We have 18 votes. We have 18 people here.
Yep. So we come up with an 8.5.
Oof.
So are we putting this in the 8s or the 9s?
You go either way.
By strict definition.
Eric, Mr. Breen, what do you think?
There seem to be more, 8s and 7s this time. So
Yeah. Well, we had 8 9s, we had 3 10s versus 4 8s, 2 7s, and a 5.
oh, then I would say 9.
Yeah. So we'll put it in the 9 for now. So all right. So we are on to soon to be issue number 3. And as Jackson says, he's telling us, well, you got to round up.
Mhm.
He says 9.
That's what Taco Bell says. You want to round up 95 cents to donate to college funds? I'm like, no.
Oh, you know how many places are doing that
Mhm.
now with different roundups? Well, of course, I mean, like Sonic, I don't have a problem with it because it's funny. I don't know about you. My personal thing is I always tip at Sonic.
Yeah.
But and they make the roundup easy. But I know I was at a place today where they were doing the charity thing, saying, "Oh, would you like to round up or give them another $1?" And this time,
it's always like, do you want to round up another 95 cents, to get to that next dollar? I'm like, no, I'm good. But so I finally did it once.
Yeah.
Because they're like,
you felt great, right?
Oh yeah, I gave him a penny.
Oh, geez. You would. All right. There we go. Here's issue number 3, and Melissa, you get to start us off with this one. So we get a little more action, maybe a little more story here. What do you think?
Oh, this is a dynamic one. I always love Nightcrawler. Oh goodness. Yeah, this is suspenseful, and is this Mike Zek?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an understatement, but he's really good. it's a wonderful piece to look on. I really love this era of comic book covers, and the details and all the characters. They really start finding their stride for creating really exciting covers. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 9. Yeah,
Gonna go 9. Okay. Amy.
Hey, it's fine. It's kind of nice, I guess, that there's a background, but it's also, I think, kind of less dynamic than the previous covers, even if the narrative element's a little clearer. I guess I'd give it an 8. It's still very well drawn.
Who's this
Okay.
guy wandering into the last minutes?
Yeah. Yeah. So when you said 9, right, Melissa?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure I got that. Let's see, me. Yeah, there's some really, really good things on this cover. I do think Wolverine does look a little wonky. I'm gonna stick with my series of 9s here so far. England team, welcome. What do you think of issue number 3 here?
Well, I'm looking at it a little closer than normal here, and I've never liked the way Wolverine looked on this. Just never have. He's just, I don't know, just in a wonky way. I do like Spider-Man going through Nightcrawler and Colossus to get to him. I should like this cover a lot more. I don't. I think I'm going to give this one a 6.
A 6.
Yeah, it's very average to me. It's just there's not a lot of detail on Storm, and you mentioned yesterday with the Crisis, so much more going on with such greater detail than what's going on here with a lot less detail. So 6. It's very flat, very average.
Fair enough. Eric.
I wish Pixel were here, so he could go like, oh boy, stop fighting each other, my intellectual properties.
It's not good for business.
I thought you were going to mention how Wolverine's claws are almost as long as his fingers.
No, but I was going to, in issue 1, my only flaw with the cover was Wolverine looked like he was counting to make sure they were still there. But I'll give it an 8 because I remember there was a lot of infighting in the early issues, and they're fighting over Magneto and why only Spider-Man's on the cover. I guess he's the one that raised the most ruckus about that. But yeah, I'll give us an 8. Cyclops' aim sucks. Colossus looks like he's listening to really bad techno music. But
Maybe.
Yeah, it's an 8.
All right, and RDV.
They make this a really great cover. If you replace Nightcrawler and Spider-Man with a cat and a dog, and the dog is chasing the cat, and you got Colossus going, eek! They're my hair.
That'll work.
But the other thing is, I never really noticed that they had like those weird knee things on his boots. Like Wolverine's got those things that will come out.
Mhm.
That's so impractical, and they must have got rid of the modern, or at least towards the 90s. Redesigned it.
Well, it's just kind of like a shin guard that flares out.
Yeah,
basically,
and then same with Colossus. The design or his knees are, and it's the knee guard. I
Yeah.
never noticed that before. So
yeah,
or
just those thigh highs that Wolverine liked to wear, and of course we know that because he's short that we're sure he's wearing heels.
right.
But
So
what's your score?
This is an 8.
An 8.
Because even I gotta agree, Wolverine's neck is freaking massive.
Yeah.
Don't look too
All
close.
right. Yeah. Well, I'm all for not having Kitty on the cover, but I'll stick with my 9 for right now.
Spider-Man's a kitty right now.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. So we got
Kitty wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
No.
That was the whole thing about Colossus falling in love with the girl and having to go back and tell Kitty Pryde.
I'm just shocked because LK read this with us on the Geeky Puppet Show.
Yeah, well, that was quite a while ago. So let me see. Glinster comes in with a 9. Dark Admiral comes in. you know, and I'm sorry, but Kitty's like my Poochie, you know. Everybody should talk about Kitty Pryde, and when she's not there, everybody should go, where is Kitty? Let's see. JP Fawn says it's a 7. And Jackson says, as if the X-Men were not enough covers, it gives it a 6. Let's see. Ethereal Dragon gives it a 7. And Joe Dog gives it a 6. Yeah. So to go along with that, I mean, the X-Men were popular, but I mean, this is the mid-'80s. They weren't the juggernaut.
Yeah, 84.
They weren't close yet, right?
And not, yeah, they were still pretty freaking big.
Yeah,
They were huge. There is not a time in the 80s where the X-Men were not a juggernaut.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
I love this. When you didn't have the UPC, they actually put like a character in the box. I love
Yeah, that was the direct market version.
Better than a Madman.
Yeah. So one Slit gives it an 8. Says he never really cared for Storm with a mohawk. Let's see. Dan is, kind of agreeing with you, Melissa, that Zek is hugely overlooked and underrated. Doesn't even track on the eBay drop-down autofill for artists, which is criminal.
What?
Rhaegar gives it an 8. And let's see. Daniel says, now this cover is starting to come together. We see X-Men and Spidey, but heads. It tells us nothing about the story. He gives it a 6. And Movie Mojo gives us a 7.
What, you say there doesn't tell him it doesn't say about the story?
No, he was saying like the previous issue, the previous
Oh,
cover.
okay. Yeah, the previous.
Yeah. So Marania says it looks like a repurposed panel art, has action. Some heroes look a bit wonky. She scores it a middling 7. Wow.
Isn't this like the
Marania's
second?
That's like a 3.
Now in Marvel history, is this the second time Spider-Man's fought against the X-Men?
I don't know. I will defer to our professor.
They'd met several times, and they would tend to fight each other and then come to their understandings. It's obligatory superhero fights.
Yeah, because in original, and is it 32? I guess Uncanny.
Yeah. So let's see. Eric and Boyd gives it an 8. And let's see. Jackson saying this was his first exposure to Mike Zeck. Didn't know how good he was until I saw his Cap and Punisher covers. Hey, Manny, Good Dog Press here gives it a 6. Rogue is on the cover. Yep, there she is consoling Professor X. Let's see.
Or stealing his power.
Says, favorite characters. Get Off My Lawn gives it an 8. That seems to be a theme for issue number 3 here. Oops. And wow, you're really busy here in the chat. I don't want to miss anybody. Let's see. Dan. See, I thought I got your. I thought I had your. Oh no, different Dan. Sorry. Dan Alvin gives it a 7. And let's see if there's any more numbers here. Okay, looks like we've got everybody for now. So let's see what we total up here. Wow. 21 votes so far. Thank you, folks. This is great. Love you. Love the participation. We've got 5 6s. And we've got 5 7s. And we've got 8 8s. And we got 3 9s. So no 10s this time around. So that's going to put this book squarely in the 7 column. So this is going into the 7s. There we go.
I'm still a little troubled by your Kitty as your Poochie line.
That was sounding very, very.
I'm thinking, given her age at the time, my guess
Should
is
we
she was
be
probably
talking about-
at a junior high school where you probably shouldn't be parking your van.
Hey, I was at this point in time, I was in my young teens, so I was probably the same age as Kitty. So
In 1984, I was planning my escape.
Did you fall out of it with a trail of pot smoke like Spicoli?
Yeah.
You didn't get a girlfriend. Hey, I was coming to high schools all day.
all right, issue number 4 here, and Amy's going to get to kick us off with something that is a very iconic cover.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So what do you think?
seriously?
You know what he's doing, right?
Wow.
Beneath 150 billion tons stands the Hulk, and he's not happy.
It's this giant, massive, like huge, like cliff-sized chunk of rock,
Oh,
and it's falling on all the heroes, and the Hulk is the only one that's holding it up.
Yep.
all right. Well, you know what? That's actually a pretty creative narrative. Because it does kind of tell a story. Well, you know what? That's probably about the most creative I've seen. And I think it's drawn well as far as I can tell. The characters are a little small. You know what the heck? I'll give it a 10.
A 10. All right. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is iconic. Basically you can see there all these, great heroes have been knocked out and they're about to get crushed into fine paste, except for the Hulk holding up 150 billion tons of rock and straining there while hopefully somebody will wake up and start to pull the heroes out. It is iconic. I do wish though that the picture was a little bit bigger. I can't quite get over that. Although, I mean, detail's good. I'm going back and forth, but you know what? I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to say this is a 9, not a 10. England team.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it
What do
going?
you think? What's your score?
10.
A 10.
There is a slight flaw. I agree with you. There is a slight flaw in this cover. And that is that the Spider-Man is covering up part of the picture. If they had just raised it up so the Spider-Man was on the lower side of the mountain.
And you're talking about where the UPC code is, not
Yeah.
that Spider-Man, not the Spider-Man.
Right, not the Spider-Man in there.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. If they raised up the picture just a little bit, you could still put the word blocks beneath 100. Yeah. And you would have the same impact, maybe more, because Spider-Man wouldn't be interrupting it. That being said, he is not covering up any of the heroes. You see the danger they're in and you get the idea. The reason I think they want to make it as right there is to show the massive amount of rock that's there and how small they are, including the Hulk, and to tell you as to what kind of thing that the Hulk is doing right now. Not Ben Grimm. We all know that they've been doing each other for decades, but it's an amazing. This is a 10, easy.
All right, Eric.
Well, I don't need to go into detail because he just said exactly what I was going to. That's why they're small on the cover, because the enormity of what he's holding up is the selling point of this cover, and it's an absolute 10.
Okay, Venkman.
You guys keep saying it's iconic, but I don't see Billy or Peyton anywhere. Wrestling joke. No, this is 10. Literally right there, it says beneath 150 billion tons stands a Hulk, and he's not happy. Pretty much, he's pissed off. So, I mean, you want to get away from him, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is when is the Hulk ever happy? So,
no, but I mean, like,
one of the story points is Mr. Fantastic starts talking about how he noticed that Bruce Banner is losing his intellect, that he's only getting mad because he's becoming more and more of a brute, and that pretty soon he won't be able to think his way out of a paper bag. And you come to find out that Reed Richards was only being snooty so he would piss the Hulk off and make him stronger. So yeah, that's actually one of the parts.
But that was going on.
Yeah.
It was towards the end of the Hulk having Bruce's intellect, which that was something that was practiced in those days, kids. It was called continuity.
Hey, okay.
I know.
Did you see this? For every cover,
every cover, I'd like to hear the average for the panel and the average for the chat. Well, yeah.
Poor math. Oh,
yay.
But God, now you're getting my.
2 plus 2 is 10. Yay!
My stat nerd here going because I haven't been making separate numbers for the panel versus the chat.
Come on, that's a little bit too much.
God, I could start making that breakdown, but I'm gonna refrain.
The problem is you also got to keep the pace going. So this isn't a 4-hour show.
Yeah. Well, if I start doing that, then it's like, okay, I want to go back and watch and go, okay, Eric's average, for Marvel books is this. Eric's average score for DC books is this, and then I really start going down a rabbit hole. So, let's see, Melissa.
Wait, you mean it could drive you insane? I truly think that that's a good idea, Glenzer. I think that if you truly cared about the math, LK would do it.
I mean, math is everything. If you don't support math, are you really a math wizard?
I can't even believe that LK has not. I'm joking, of course. Don't.
Are you guys gonna? Oh God.
No, we're not. We're not. Right.
I could actually break out Excel.
Do it.
Just kidding about wanting to drive you crazy.
Melissa, what's your score?
I'd say 10. I remember I saw this cover before. I was deeply impressed when I was young. So it's one of those images that just stuck with me. And I think, even if the Spider-Man sticker does kind of downplay it a little bit and the characters are small, you don't see them that well, it's still a very impressive story. And I don't know if this is really to say, but I feel like the way the sheer the way the rock was inked is very appealing. I like the fissures and the cracks, and I think it's just a nicely colored. It's just a very impressive cover. It's a 10 for me.
Okay. Now let's see from the chat. We've got Glenzer with a 10. We've got Eric and Boyd with a 10. Let's see. Oh wow, Rhaegar, we've a 4.
What?
Wow.
Wrong answer, Rhaegar. Try again.
Yep. Joe Dog comes in with a 10. Steven Spock. Hey, welcome, Steven Spock. He gives it an 8. Let's see. Dark Admiral goes 10 out of 10. All right. Ethereal Dragon gives it a 5. We are hitting the spectrum on this one. JP says it's a magnificent issue and cover. It is.
So it gets a 7?
He gives it an 8. Jackson is, well, at least it tells a story and gives it a pedestrian 6. And Rhaegar agrees and says, hey, Ethereal Dragon knows what's up. Well, you guys with your 4, 5s, and 6s. Good Dog Press says underrated Bob Layton art, gives it a 9. So this is Layton, not Mike Zeck. Or did Layton do the Yanks? Let's see. One Slick Dude says 8. While the concept is good, the perspective is pulled too far back, and some of the heroes look like they are taking a nap.
Marvel Fandom said the cover is done solely by Bob Layton.
Okay. That is good to know. Since initially we were on the idea that maybe they were all Mike Zeck covers. Let's see. Ethereal is also saying too much mountain. Marania, this embodies the tenacity of the Hulk along with the strength. Excellent use of the cover space to show the dilemma of the heroes. Layton cover, automatic 10. All right, we've hit double digits in our 10s. But Daniel says there's too much rock on the cover. Thinks Taranka, less mountain, better look at the heroes, and gives it a 6. I wouldn't mind seeing what version of this would be. Marania counters that some of the heroes were injured this time. Ethereal agrees with you. They should have moved the spider head up. Let's see, looking for any more numbers. Dan Alvin gives it a 10. Let's see, Glenzer equation. Yes, agreeing with Eric. Continuity that was strictly enforced by Jim Rootin' Tootin' Shooter. Yep, we miss Jim Shooter around these parts. Strong disagree. Simplicity. Looks like we got all the scores there. So let's see what we've got going this time. 11, 13, 16. Looks like we got 20 votes this time. And we've got
this is a banner day.
Yeah, a 4, a 5, 2 6s, 3 8s, 2 9s, and 11 10s. You're going to divide that, and that comes out to 8.65, which will put it into the 9 category. Oops, I hit the trying to. Okay, where did I get dumped to? No, it's not a 10, it's a 9. Stick it there. All right. So now we are on to issue number 5. And let's see, that one, okay, that one I get to start off with. Wow. All right, let's take a look here what we've got. Oh, at long last, the X-Men Strike Back. Wow, this is a better cover in terms of the action and the dynamicism than the first X-Men Spidey cover that we saw. Really like how Doc Ock's arms are wrapped around Spidey as well. Really good look, I think. And again, too, Wolverine much better in this. Isn't in quite a, not really much of an awkward pose. So I'm going to give this one a 10. So England team, number 5.
Oh, goodness. What are we looking at? The X-Men Striking Back, issue number 5. You've got... oh, wow. Okay, yeah, this is the one where they jump in afterwards because the villains attack and knock out all the heroes, which we're seeing represent. This is very representative of what happens inside, as a matter of fact. The helpless Marvel heroes, the X-Men coming in to save Wolverine. Sometimes people drew Wolverine with 9-foot claws. Just look at the, what was it, Marvel Team Up number 117, where they're just ridiculously long. And that's going on here. This is, the thing is, if you go through this, you can pick it apart. But when you just look at it, it is a very dynamic cover. I give it a 9. I like this one.
All right. Eric.
It's very good.
At last, the X-Men strike back at the villains' weapons, because you can't see any of the villains.
Yeah.
I'll give
us an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
Wow. I scored a cover higher than you. Okay. Let's see. Venkman.
This is Bob Lane with Bob Wyacek or Wyacek.
Wyacek.
Wyacek. Where I pronounce it. Heard it multiple ways now. So it's not Bob inking him by himself. So he's got someone else inking him. And honestly, knowing a lot more about George Perez, this is more like a George Perez cover with the bondage. But but I like this. The X-Men are coming to their aid after the Avengers and Spidey were basically being attacked by the villains. I like this. You know, you can see how it is. It's Doc Ock. I love his tentacles. Whenever they draw them, they look more 3D instead of being like 2D flat. So they're curving, wrap around Spidey. That's always awesome. Same with Reed Richards. His arms are all kind of noodly because he's been knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
And you get Crusher Creels. He got his little this ball and chain hanging there. Yeah, sure. You can talk about Wolverine. His claws are like super long and his leg is bigger than his body. But I mean, honestly, it's actually a really cool cover. I'm going to give it about an 8.
A cool cover, and it's an 8. All right, Melissa.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it an 8 too. Oh, wow. These Secret Wars covers are just so busy. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's like, it's a very distinct look about it. Most covers don't usually have this many characters in them, and just going straight out for the the zaps and the chokes and everything. Let's see. Dynamic poses. Yeah, I mean,
okay,
it's cool. I just can't. I guess why I'm not giving it a 10 or something else. I guess some of the poses feel a little odd or stiff to me, but besides that, I mean, it's very good. These are excellent artists, and this is like a heyday for comic book art as a whole. But for the, I call it an 8.
Okay, and Amy.
Which one of Iron Man's villains fights him with a big chain?
That's somebody from the Wrecking Crew, isn't it?
That's Absorbing. Yeah, could be. Absorbing Man has the Wrecking Ball, and so does
Thunderball.
Thunderball. Yeah.
So there's a couple of them. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Now it's cracked. That leads me to believe it's Absorbing Man.
Absorbing Man.
Yeah, because someone else has got a chain and it's just hanging there. I don't know if that's an extra chain. Might be
And then there's a blue zappy guy. Now, is there looks like there's somebody there with a stick. Is he the one that fought Mr. Fantastic?
Oh, that's them. Isn't the Mole Man?
Mole Man.
Was he there? I don't think. Was
or-
he there?
I don't
Or
think
no.
Mole Man was in there.
Wait,
And, well,
no, but he's right here though.
good Lord, yeah, I was about to say, you speak his name and he appears.
Hello.
No, we said Mole Man and he appeared.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
incredible.
I had a number of choices.
Where were you
Yeah.
20 minutes ago when I was trying to do it, Professor X?
I was busy working still. I was making shopping a pleasure.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
And you notice that he's cosplaying as the Mole Man too.
That's
Oh,
right.
No,
Hi.
that might be
Hi, the mole man.
He's got a green shirt on.
for the villains.
so-
It's Molecule Man, is that?
Yeah. It could be. I know he was in that story. So Amy, what's your score?
You know what? I'll give this one a 10. It
10.
might have some things with the drawings, but it's a solid drawing, and it's interesting seeing the heroes. There's like 3 layers of action there, so that's kind of cool.
Okay. And Pixel, since you just joined us, what's your score here, number 5?
7.
A
Listen.
7.
It's not a bad cover. It's just out of every cover for Secret Wars, this is one I can shrug off. It's very
Okay.
forgettable, even
All
with
right,
all the
let's see-
action.
Let's see what we've got in the chat here. We've got Glenzer coming in with an 8. We've got Ethereal Dragon also with an 8. We've got Rhaegar with a 9. And Steven Spock with a 9. And Dark Admiral with a 9. JP Fawn says they're good, strong perspective and gives it an 8. Eric and Boyd also with an 8. Joe Dog with a 7. MK, hey, welcome. He says cool, solid pick, gives it an 8. One Slick Dude gives it a 9, says they're still not doing a great job on Wolverine. Fair enough. Movie Mojo's also in the 8 camp. And let's see, Get Off My Lawn says, hey, it's a 9. Manny gives it an 8. Marania says, dynamic action cover feels like repurposed panel art. Even so, Leighton's art pushes this up to a solid 9. So the 9s are trying to keep up with the 8s.
Every time you say Movie Mojo, I think we're gonna get a top 10.
Jackson
Mojo.
gives it a 7. Great layout, but still bad inking. Dan says, I see a lot of disproportionate, inadvertent anatomical distortion. Looks awkward to me in too many places, and he gives it a 6. And let's see, too many characters. Dark Admiral is agreeing with you, Eric, saying it's the Absorbing Man. Dan Alvin saying it's the Wrecker with the crowbar. That might be one of the other guys there in shadow.
Okay.
Yeah,
But,
DP is saying the Old Man was hiding during the whole event. But
Did you read what Manny said? He said that Leighton used these poses over and over again.
oh, okay. Oh,
So
that's
he kind of so that's why it kind of seems like it's a 7 or 8 because they're phoned in.
Okay. So let's see. Looks like we've got all the votes in there. And so we've got 15, 20. Wow, 23. This is awesome, guys. Thank you for keeping this growing.
But what's the average of the panel though?
Number 5, we've got 1 6, 3 7s. We got 10 8s. We got 7 9s. And we got 2 10s. So that is going to put this just clicks into the 8 category. So issue number 5 is going to be an 8. And let's see if I can find it
There's trouble, you know.
along here. Okay, why am I not seeing? Oh, there it is. And there's these little tiny
Ooh, it's just
thumbnails. Sometimes they're hard to try and see.
this. And also make sure to go vote in the poll that's up right now for the next books.
Yeah, so we're voting here. This will be the books for when?
Monday. No, Sunday we did yesterday. And what one? Something.
Well, I know Catwoman won at some point here. So
Catwoman's on Sunday, and this will be Monday. Sorry, we were doing so. I put up titles. I hope you guys are okay. Devil Dinosaur, the Jack Kirby run. The Teen Titans. I thought that might be fun. Terry Toons. That's the Mighty Mouse cartoon comic, and something else.
I like Jungle Comics.
Jungle Comics.
Oh, Jungle Comics being the Jungle Girl things. There, I think there's other dudes in it.
The Golden Age.
The Golden Age.
Nayoka, the Jungle Girl. I think.
It might be, but I'm thinking Sheena was in Jungle Comics. I might be wrong. I know she was in Jumbo Jungle.
You should have put Hot Girls.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Right now,
all right. So we're to number 6. And number 6 goes to England team. He gets to start us off first.
Oh, this is the last night we had the Crisis villains. This is the Secret Wars villains cover. And okay, here's the thing. The Crisis was amazing because of the detail George Perez can do in such small figures that everyone pops out, and it ends up becoming a veritable who's who. It's just, let's look at this cover. You could look at that cover for hours. This one's not going to take you hours. That being said, this is more focused. You get everybody very clear. You got Galactus looming in the background as he did through this entire freaking series. The other one was a 10, and for very different reasons, this one's a 10.
All right.
I think the colors pop.
First, LK, did you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I watched like the first 3+ seasons. I kind of fell out when they started adding new characters and stuff.
Do you remember when they brought the Absorbing Man in and they hired a Calvin model to play him?
I think so. Was that after Mockingbird?
I don't remember, but looking at him, has anybody ever been more perfectly suited to play somebody, a comic book character, than Ryback as the Absorbing Man?
Yeah.
Oh God! But would you want to deal with Ryback on the set? Is the problem? But,
no, but I wouldn't have been working there. But he just looks. This is a 10, by the way, because this. You go back to issue 1. This is the other side of that. That's who the heroes are charging, and I said, and this is them.
So,
yeah.
So Breen, do you know that Galaxy's in there too?
Yeah. Oh, what in the background there?
Yeah, in the background.
Yeah. Okay, Venkman, what's your score here?
Oh man, this is just great. Dr. Doom in front. And they're all doing dynamic superhero poses. Like it's funny. It's like, does Absorbing Man, does he know Kung Fu? The way his arms are in his back, it almost kind of looks like he is. But I guess he's getting ready to swing.
Well, he's taking out half of his teammates there with his wrecking ball.
Well, the funny is you got 2 people on these teams that both swing freaking wrecking balls. I did not notice that until now. Even
Where's
when we
Miley Cyrus?
Right? Titania, who is just kind of there to say, hey, I'm there.
Look at my rack.
I know, right?
Next to her future husband. So your score, Venkman?
My score, this is a 10.
A 10, all right. And let me get back to you. Sorry, I skipped you in the order there. Pixel.
Hello, sir. So I do like the layout of this cover. I feel like Galactus is looming. No, I don't feel that he's looming. He is looming, but I feel like they went just a little too dark with his looming. I need something just a little bit more. I think this is an 8. Let's go an 8 because it is very, very nice with all the poses, everything. And Doom right there, front and center. And I do like Galactus's pose, but it's missing stuff for me.
So this might be the original scan. If you look on Marvel Fandom, they actually have it. It's much brighter.
Yeah, I mean,
more detailed.
it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those things where I think that like the original printing, if you saw the actual comic book, would be a little not quite as dark on that one. Melissa.
As far as like major ensemble covers, I think this is one of the best ones I've seen tonight.
Okay.
Like there's there's way fewer like empty space, just like white space or anything, just kind of anywhere in the gaps. Like everything feels filled out, and also everyone's pose looks like exciting. There's no one who just seems to be just kind of like standing there awkwardly and like looking away, just like I barely get they, but like I'm barely here, and it's just like. So I just feel like he's really getting a handle on this. So I'm gonna give this one a 9.
Yeah, that is Volcano up there flying their shooting energy beams on the left.
Yep. All right, and Amy.
Hey, well, I'm glad to see that we get to see who it was that had the crowbar. It's this guy with the green suit, and does he have a
Record.
Does he have the record? Yeah.
Record.
So I guess that's who it is. So mystery solved. I guess this is the other side of the X-Men cover that was the last issue. So yeah, it's exciting. Of all the covers I've seen, if any of those were a 10, this would be 2. So
Okay.
I'll give this one a 10.
Awesome.
I think of the Ginyu Force from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and yeah, basically all the same reasons that people have been talking about, I'm going to give this a 10 as well. So let's see what we get from the chats here. And let's see, find the start mark. Talking about some jungle action here. And then we got Glenzer giving it a 9. He's the first one out of the blocks there. Ethereal Dragon gives it a 7. And then we've got Joe Dog with a 9. Steven Spock with do saying sorry folks, but Galactus gets a 10. Yep. Otherwise you make Galactus angry. Dark Admiral gives it an 8. Movie Mojo gives it a 10 as well. And let's scroll down here. You see MK saying gives it a 7, saying for me it's cool, but I don't like how Galactus looks too shadowy. He's hard to see. Fair enough. Eric and Boyd gives it a 9. Get Off My Lawn gives it a 10. And Marani says the villain cover is simple and effective. Doom is front and center as he should be. Score a Doom-tastic 10. Well, that is the way Doom would have it.
He would.
P says the Marvel villains almost look like color forms, not as well executed as the first issue. He gives it an 8, as well as Jackson gives it an 8. Manny gives it a 9. Dan is noting that Crisis had to have so much more detail because of all the Golden Age characters that Marvel did not have to account for. That's very true. Also the entire universes versus much fewer characters here. And of course, as Dark Admiral is saying, remember to smash that like button, especially since we have so many folks in here tonight. Again, thank you for showing up. Rhaegar says terribly cluttered, almost too cluttered, so he gives it an 8. And let's see if we got anybody else. Dan is giving it a 7. And yes, it was Volcana that was romantically involved with the Molecule Man. That was actually in this story here. So, yeah, no, Moonstone would not get involved with the Molecule Man unless there was something she wanted from the Molecule Man, because that's how Carla Suffren rolls. So let's see what we've got here score-wise. And we have 23 again. So we've got 3 7s, and we've got 6 8s, and we've got 5 9s, and we came up with 9 10s. And so that's going to land us in the 9 category. So, all right. So issue number 6, the villains drop into the 9s. They beat the heroes by 1. But can the heroes come back? We will see in future. There's a future cover where the heroes might be able to regain their stature. We go to issue number 7. Oh, Captain America and Pixel. What do you think of issue number 7.
That Gil K no shot is tempting me for 10. No, it's not a 10 though. It's a 9 because it is a really cool cover. I do like the action and the somewhat horrified expression, I guess I could say, on Cap's face. But Cap's face is really wonky. But all the action surrounding it, the trouble of war, and look, there's the new Spider-Woman. I think it's a 9. I really like it, but there's some problems.
All right, Eric.
I think I'm going to go 9 also. Cap's feeling the weight of being put in charge of the heroes. And it shows on his wonky little face.
Yeah. Well, you can see how his right hand is, gripped tightly, and he's like, ugh. So
either he's feeling the weight of leadership, or he's constipated.
It's a little known fact there that the Beyond it didn't put stalls in there. So.
Okay, Cliff. Venkman.
Cap make poopy. I love the fact that there's everybody's fighting sick for like, hey, I'm just gonna show up as Spider Girl and not only steal a name because we already have Spider Woman, but I'm just gonna sit here and just watch people fight. Cap's not Cap, but Wolverine actually looks good now. I don't this angle here going against Doc Ock, it's awesome. Cyclops is actually hitting something. It's great. I'm giving this a 10.
All right, a 10 from Venkman. Okay, Melissa.
Well, this is a very dynamic and kind of eccentric kind of cover, isn't it? I kind of feel. I guess a whole bunch of vignettes and Captain America looks on, and we have like a worm's eye view of it. And it's like very intense. Although it feels it's kind of a little strange to look at. But I kind of want to give it a 7.
A 7. Okay. Amy.
Yeah. I guess I could give it an 8.
Okay. All right. Well, I kind of want to give it a 10 because the Beyonder and Doom were able to do something that Hank couldn't. What? Nobody.
Knockout Jan.
Well, I was going to say killer because that's the death of the Avenger here. She's on the slab there at the bottom, so that's what the implication is. But I'm going to go with the 9. I do like the way it's all set up. I like the kind of the insets or the smaller action pictures going on depicting battles. Team.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Sorry, I'm doing the auction while we're here. Thank you for letting me participate. Look, yeah, a lot of people have made fun of Captain America, the way he looks here, and he's supposed to look like he's in anguish because of all the bad things that have been happening and going on. The fact that they lost the battle, they really took some hits. It's really what saves this cover is what's going on about it. Seeing the new Spider-Woman, seeing everybody stand at the X-Men come in at the last moment and save them. I think at even some point in time, Titania gets her comeuppance, but I think it's by the hands of Spider-Man. Colors are okay. It's good. It's not great. Give this one 8. This one's an 8. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see how many people in the chat agree here. Glenzer gives it a 9. And Dan Alvin is noting that in 1985, they made a black and white poster board of this one that came with a palette of color markers. And he still has this pair of these posters that finished. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's something, if you get you should post it up on social media. That would be awesome to see.
Finished coloring.
Yeah, so Eric and Boyd gives it an 8. We get a 10 from Joe Dog, and we get an 8 from Steven Spock. Dark Admiral March Hare there gives it a 9, says he loves the battle at the bottom. Rhaegar gives it a 10 simply because Steve is getting his Joe Biden on. Well, you know, we'll see. Get Off My Lawn gives it a 7. Let's see. JP says, I've always really liked this one. Cap is having flashbacks. He gives it an 8. MK is in the 7 ranks. Jackson gives it a 7. Dan Alvin gives it an 8. Movie Mojo is also an 8. And let's see, we've got One Slick Dude giving it a 9. And Morania says, everyone's fighting with a Captain America background. He's colored as the focus, which normally I'd go lower, but Leighton's awesomeness pushes us up to a patriotic 10. Ethereal Dragon says, well, not so fast, Morania. The color scheme isn't doing it for him, and he gives it a 6. And Jackson says, yeah, I should have gone with a 6. Well, you gave us a 7, so I'm sticking with the 7. Manny says, I want to give it a 9, but Cyclops Anatomy is killing me, so he's giving it a 7. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I can kind of see Megaton Man than Cyclops in that picture. So I can see where you're coming from in that. Maybe Don Simpson came in and finished this up for Bob Layton. We don't know. Let's see. Guys, it looks like he's sniffing. Tell me you don't see Rhaegar. You can look at it any way you want, and I am not agree with you or not. Yeah, I believe the panel is awake. Panel, say hello to Rhaegar.
Hi, Rhaegar.
How you doing? I'm right here.
We'll be awake for another 5 days.
How's it going?
Wow.
How's it going there, little Rhaegar?
Yeah. So, all right. So we'll tally it up. We got 1
please.
6. We got 5 7s. We got 7 8s. 6 and 4 10s. And that is going to bring us into, again, another 8. So issue 7 is in the 8. Nothing lower than a 7. Which I think is fair. No 10.
A man got arrested for putting fake arrow decals on the floor in IKEA for creating a labyrinth with no exit. That's something Angleton would do.
I have.
No. All right.
Just to mess with. Well, when I was at Twister, just to mess with the next guys coming in, I went and I made the line so everybody stopped outside facing in the wrong direction. So he had to fix it. I got written up for that, but it was pretty good.
All right. Well, let's see.
We had an outside cue that if you did it right, spiraled right into the middle.
All right. Well, I guess we're up to, I don't know. I'm not sure. Anybody else recognize this cover? Eric, you get to kick us off. What do you think of number 8 here?
I've got to give us a 10. Yeah, it's obviously everything that's taking place in the background is just that. It's background noise. This is 100% to show his new costume. I'm surprised he isn't posed more like Magneto on issue 2, but you know, that's, and for what it was designed to do, it works perfectly. So it's a 10.
Yeah. Well, and then of course it's the one issue where if you want to try and collect all of Secret Wars, well,
Good luck.
But at least this one was worth money before. It's not because of any movies or other live action nonsense. So that's,
yeah,
I have no problem when a comic organically becomes expensive.
yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I need to start tracking the price of the X-Men 130. So, Venkman.
This is iconic. First appearance of the black suit on anything.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the background characters, it is kind of, it looks very cartoonish. It'll be, you know, with the Hulk back there, he looks kind of weird proportionally, and he has no face. I think the Vision's dead, or whoever that is in the middle there. You get Captain America, you get the Enchantress, and then whoever that is, and yeah, I think it might be one of the Wrecker.
Yeah, it's one of the Wrecking Crew.
But I mean, honestly though, but it's drawn that way on purpose. You're supposed to basically like see Spider-Man striking a pose. Like he's getting ready to have his jazz hands. He's ready to start doing a dance. I'm giving this a 10.
A 10. All right.
It's just fun.
Yeah. Okay, Melissa.
Oh, it's kind of fun. You haven't seen like bright red backgrounds like this like since like the old like 30s books and the 40s books. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun seeing that kind of be used again. You know?
Yeah, it does make it look kind of retro.
This is clearly a crucial moment. A lot of stuff going in the background. Yeah, it's a 10.
A 10. Okay, Amy.
That is interesting. The red background, like she's saying, does make this a little more of a graphic art flair. I probably wouldn't have bothered with the huge column of smoke since it kind of distracts from the contrast of his other arm. It would have been nicer if that like kind of wasn't there, if it was smaller. But I guess it's supposed to mimic the fire from Human Torch here. Of course, you already got Iron Man flying in. So I think as a piece of graphic art, it's interesting. And, well, it's certainly iconic. And actually, the little guys tumbling in the background look decent, as near as I can tell. Good poses and whatever. Yeah, I'll give this a 10.
A 10. Okay, well, I'll tell you right now, yes, it's iconic, but just because it's iconic doesn't mean it's a great cover. And it's funny, the more and more I keep... It feels like Sergio Aragonis drew the background. I mean, Hulk looks like he's on the shoulders of somebody there. And again, this too, if we hadn't done the Crisis covers last night, I probably a higher score. But I'm sitting here kind of imagining what this would have looked like if George Perez had drawn it.
Oh, forget it. I don't think it's fair to put him in George's category.
Yeah, how much better those background characters would be. So, unfortunately, yes, it's iconic, but I'm going to give this an 8. England team.
7.
7?
It's good. It's good. It's not great. Look, I get what they're doing. Like Eric said, this is to sell the new suit, right?
Yeah.
That's damn near the pose he has in the book, which is, oh my God, what's going on? Which, if you're going to introduce suit, give him a holy shit, this is me now pose. Give him a hero's pose, not a what the is going on with this kind of thing. Doesn't matter what's going on in the background. Like Eric said, this is all about selling the suit. When you do look in the background, that looks like a parody cover. If you don't believe me, I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, while you're going to do that, Pixel, what's your score?
You know, Jim Shooter.
This is a comic book trade paperback of all the meetings between Mxyzptlk and Batmite and so forth and so on. And in there, they have an issue where it's called the Batmite Returns or something like that. And this thing looks just like that with everybody running around. It's okay. It's good for, like Eric says, it's good for what it does. Here I am trying to make a point. Of course, I can't find the cover that I'm trying to make a point with. That usually happens. It's like when you have a little baby and you say, "No, Mom, she said Dad. Look, here, no, listen, say Dad," and they never do.
Well, you're looking for that, Pixel. What's your score?
Jim Shooter has a story that he loves to tell about the Black Suit Spider-Man, and I think England team, because I saw him with while seeing Jim Shooter once. I think he heard this story. Basically, Jim said that I'm going to go ahead and make this suit, and this is going to be a big deal. He told he told the corporate heads involved with Marvel at the time that didn't really care about comic books. They were like, "No, it doesn't matter. Why would you change the suit? The red and blue, it's iconic. This is going to be nothing. This is a mistake." This issue came out. They were contacted by so many companies that just wanted the rights to the Black Suit Spider-Man. The Spider-Man alone makes this a 10. It's fantastic. I think the what the fuck is going on is absolutely the correct pose. Against red, it's brilliant. The background, it's just a lot of fluff to go ahead and highlight. excellence before us of that. Give a noise warning. Wall
Okay.
crawling, web swinging, snake eating, black suited Spider-Man.
Thank you, JJJ.
Thank you.
All right, let's see what we've got in the chat here. Glenzer gives it an 8. Says the wishes the background was a lot closer. Dark Admiral gives it a 10. Ethereal Dragon gives it an 8. And JP Font says, is this iconic? I guess it is, but I'm only giving it an 8. As I said, something can be iconic. It doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Eric and Void gives it a 9. One Slit Dude says 10. This is a symbiote cover that is the best known. Yes. Joe Dog says, I give it a 10. I dig the black symbiote. Well, there's a reason why this cover is worth so much. Steven Spock, smoke coming from Peter's bomb, gives it a 9. Let's see. Jackson says, we saw the costume before. 6. It's got a lame background. MK says, this reminds me of Spider-Man 3 with the emo Parker dancing in the street and pressing the ladies in the street a little. So he will say it's an 8. Let's see. Marania, new Spidey is posed to sell the action figure. Spidey's freaking out in the middle of the battle with the new suit. Score a Spidey 10. And let's see. JP says the best thing about the whole Secret Wars event was reading Doom's inner monologues. That I do remember from the readings. Jackson liked my Aragones comment there. And Good Dog Manny says iconic, but it's an 8. Well, you know what? I'm glad to be in the same company as Manny on this one. Dan is saying the intricacies of the background get this from a 7 to an 8 for me. Top-notch compositional V with the smoke and the Human Torch path, converging to bring your eyes straight to Peter. Okay, fair enough. And let's see. Rhaegar is going to give this a 6. And yeah, he should have been in Magneto's pose. Get Off My Lawn gives it a 10. And Movie Mojo gives it an 8. And as I finish that, I'm going to welcome Dominic to the stream. Hey, Dominic, how are you?
Evening, everybody, and I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourselves?
Good. So what's your score here on the iconic issue number 8?
I will give this one a 10.
A 10. All right. So let's see what we've got here.
All I really have to say about those readings on the Geeky Puppet Show, if you're interested, I do want to go ahead and say, can you imagine how hard it would have been if Doom was voiced like Dr. Doofenshmirtz at that time? would have been incredibly rough.
It would have been much better.
You'd have Perry the platypus.
A platypus? Perry the platypus!
Oh, man.
The Under is taking over the entire tri-state area.
Area Battle World? How large is that?
Yep. All right. So our totals, we got is a 7, 8 8s, 2 9s, and 11 10s, and that equals out to a 9.
And that is perfectly fine.
That comes out to a 9, where a lot of these have been getting. Whoops. Ah, dang it. Oh, shoot. What did I do here?
It's probably just gone back down to the bottom.
Yeah.
There it is.
Never mind, it went to 5.
And you too can, once you're done with this stream here, go over to the Geeky Puppet Show. There's the playlist for the Marvel Secret Wars.
Oh, thank you, Venkman.
Yeah.
All right. So issue 8 is done and dusted, and we are on to issue number 9, where we've got another kind of battle pose. And Dominic, since you just popped in, you get to kick us off here for issue number 9. What do you think?
Let's see here. Composition is spot on. On it, it's not cluttered. And each of the heroes, like it guides us to obviously who they're gonna face. And also like the colors help complement each other as well. To help enhance the dynamism.
Mm-hmm.
With all that being said, I give this one a 9.
A 9. All right. And I'm just going to go back up to the top here. Whoops, I put that in the 10 column. Eric, what do you think?
I think I'm going to get back in the 10 column because I kind of like some of the pose. I really like Iron Man's pose. Now again,
Right?
it's I'm trying to get out of the habit of comparing this to George Perez because
Right.
you're going to come up short.
Yeah.
But just looking at it for what it's trying to do, and the fact that at some point, I don't even know if this is still a Mike Zeck cover because but I noticed a lot of the interiors. It looks like he ran out of time and just stopped drawing complete people. But this one does get the job done.
Okay.
Well, adding on to that, it also informs the readers on what's going to happen within the book.
Yeah. So, Vankman.
Well, they're trying to stop Galactus from playing that giant organ. They're tired of Take Me Out to the Baseball.
Didn't want to do that anymore.
Take me out to the ball game.
Well,
Take me out to the baseball.
With some Cracker
Well,
Jacks would be good.
Honestly, they're gonna get hit by a baseball soon. Because look at we got the mean green machine getting ready to toss a freaking lob softball at him. But it is interesting to see every action superhero running on here. Wolverine with his claws down is kind of a weird run for him, but I guess his claws are freaking heavy.
Well, it's mostly because of how the perspective is being used here.
I know. But I mean, like, it's just you ever watch people run? Some people run weird. Tom Cruise in general when he runs.
Yes, there's a great YouTube video that's a compilation of Tom Cruise running, and it is glorious. But your score on this cover?
My score on this cover, this is a 10 for me.
A 10.
I like I got Spider-Man in the back going, whee!
He does look like he's having fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you can even see his little bouncing path. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yep.
All right. That's
So what do you think, Melissa?
It's a very exciting cover. I actually am having a little bit of a hard time understanding what's going on. Like, what's this long column they're walking on, and what's that thing that Galactus is standing over? It's nice to see everyone getting together and saving the day as always. I kind of want to say 7.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want context after you just gave a 7, I guess he's gonna light up his machine, which will actually destroy them.
Ooh.
They're
Okay,
trying to
that's
stop
fine.
him from turning on his machine. His Galactus. So.
Yeah, it kind of picks up from the last issue. So it's one of those things where, again, if you'd been like reading the series all the way through, you would have recognized the situation. But it's perfectly valid. So Amy.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. All of these issues kind of required you to know what the heck's going on, and I think that's been the biggest disadvantage I've kind of had with them, and I'm trying not to judge them for that. Is I look at them and I'm like, well, if I knew what was going on, I'd probably be really excited. But never minding that, kind of how does it look? It's been a lot to take in. I think maybe the reason Wolverine runs with his claws down like this, I've heard before that if you're traveling when you have a gun, you're supposed to point it at the ground because you won't accidentally hurt people that way.
That's true.
So with those claws, probably you wouldn't want to run with those in front of her. You could.
It's not a long way to run, and he can do it with his claws in.
I know. Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. So.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
His claws retract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got them out for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let's just hype himself up, like
for dramatic effect. It's like a caveman, and he runs with his knuckles on the ground.
Yeah.
That works then.
Yeah. So
all in all, though, I'd say I like the colors. It's an interesting use of perspective. It's neat that you've got, you're looking up at some characters and down on others, and it all kind of points to where the heroes are headed. Yeah, I guess if I were going to give any of them a 10, this one would be 2. So I'll give this a 10.
Okay. Yeah. So when I look at Wolverine here, again, I look at this. This is a moment. And so I look at it that he's just getting started running. And I mean, you've seen it in the movies, with Jackman, flicking the claws down and then starting the run forward. So, it's not like he's been running in that way, like for a mile or something. So with all that said, I mean, I like the idea of the cover. I'm not sure it's fully pulled off. So I'm gonna give it an 8. England.
It's an exciting cover. I wish we saw more of, like, if Captain America was in the Sergeant Rock pose, where he's kind of calling the troops, and we saw the anguish, the fear on his face. Because at this point, they realize the process has started, and they need to go fight basically a god to stop him from devouring all life on the planet they're standing on. So they should not, it shouldn't be a rally cry of, yeah, we're going to get this guy. It shouldn't be any of that. It should be, holy shit, this is our last stand.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can see that Captain America does have that on his face, but we don't see it exactly clear. Otherwise, I would give this a 10. But I think as it is, it's a 9 because it is a good action scene. So,
all right.
There you go.
Excellent.
I'm going to go 10, even with the fact that, look at that, the Human Torch is blasting fire on that. That doesn't seem very useless, which is not an accurate portrayal of the Human Torch. But no. It's a 10. It's really exciting. I love the run up to Galactus. It's like because we keep talking about George Perez, even though we're saying we're not comparing to him. Like, the detail would be finer with Perez, but with what we have, it's fantastic.
Hey, Pitts,
Yeah,
you know
we
what-
did. Oh, go on ahead, Eric.
You know what would have made this an 11?
What's that?
Huh?
The Inhumans.
Shut up.
Probably so. Everything is made better by the Inhumans.
Yeah.
No,
Let's see if the
it's
chat
not.
agrees. Glenzer gives it a 10 to kick us off. Ethereal Dragon gives us a 9. Dark Admiral March here gives us a 9. Steven Spock is an 8, like me. Joe Dog gives it a 10. Sagma, hey, welcome. Glad you were able to join us here. Gives it an 8. Eric and Boyd gives it a 9. Get Off My Lawn gives it an 8. One Slit Dude says Perspective of Galactus is too small compared to the heroes rushing him up to the background, so he's giving it an 8. JP Fawn says, when I see this cover, it occurs to me that maybe they need more heroes. And he gives it an 8. Rhaegar is saying Galactus is too far away. Cover makes me squint my eyes. It's not dreadful, though, so it's fine, and that equals a 7 in his eyes. Jackson says if it's a 7, it would be less without Iron Man. I'm sure Marani is glad to hear that. MK gives it a 7 as well. Manny gives it an 8. And we get a 7 from Movie Mojo. Dark Admiral March here. Hey, good night. Have a good one. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for the auction. Again, auction is starts at
8 p.m.
8
Eastern.
Yeah, 8 o'clock Eastern. And some good books there. Highlighted possibly, I think we've got some underground comics showing up.
Yeah.
In the auction.
We did an unboxing earlier. Please check that out.
Yeah,
But,
and Ronnie says, heroes flying away from the reader towards the villains. Busy cover, but the heroes are recognizable. She scores it an epic 10. Let's see. And Rhaegar is saying, hey, if you like Tom Cruise running, you should see Steven Seagal running comparisons. Somebody named Space Eye throws some pretty good. Well, that would be interesting. Let's see. JP is saying this illustrates the real reason the Cap has stayed alive for so long. He stays at the back of the line. Well, let's see. Dan here finishes off 9 on 9. He loves the Hulk bounding in a frame with a boulder and the flaring interplay between Torch and Monica. The upper right, adjacent to the placid blue sky and clouds. Great perspective depth. All right. So, all right. Wow. That gets us up to 25 votes on issue 9 tonight. Thank you, guys. This is awesome. And so we get 5 7s. We get 7 8s. We get 6 9s. And we get 7. And that is going to drop this into, wow, just makes it into the 9 category at an 8.6. So another one for the 9s. We got 6 9s, 2 8s, and a 7 so far. So interesting distribution tonight.
I just have to say, can you imagine how much it must have hurt? Like, this comes out because it comes out first, and then Crisis on Infinite Earth comes out just a few months later, and the covers are exceptionally better.
Well, the sales. Marvel, I do believe, did a little bit better in sales on this one.
Well, I know, but from an artist perspective.
Yeah. So Jackson raises an interesting question here before we get started with number 10. He's saying Black Bolt could have destroyed the Machine all by himself.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You could have seen
Okay.
But then Galactus would have ended his life. Galactus, Galactus is and should be portrayed as, like I said, if you're fighting him, you're fighting your last stand. He should not be portrayed as taking meetings with America Chavez when she's not being written by Gabby Rivera.
All right. And with that, we're going to get back into the order that we had. So RAV, you start us off here on issue number 10.
Yes, the death of Doom and Schnurfs.
Yep.
Yo wish.
This is such a badass. It's just a badass cover. Doom. Normally, when we see Doom in the comic books, his costume is clean. The only time he gets any damage, if it's they cop out and say it's not him, it's a Doom bot. Like
Right.
Doom was supposed to be the ultimate bad guy, and here he is. Holy shit, he's getting his ass kicked. I mean, he's just shredded. You can see his skin and everything. His costume is torn. It looks like he's got a Stone Cold knee brace on the right side. It kind of looked like it a little bit. It's and then he's channeling his power. It's like it's against the Beyonder to the death. It's like you're like, dude, at this point you're reading this, you have no idea if Doom is actually going to die or not. They could literally do it. This is a 10, dude.
All right. And let's see. Melissa.
Oh, what do you think, sis?
Me?
Uh-huh.
Oh, this is my, like you said, it's very powerful. You never thought you'd never actually be rooting for Doctor Doom, but it's like, and he just seems so determined and kind of admirable in his defiance of the plots of the World Eaters, and I'm like, I really like this cover. It's my favorite for the night. I'm definitely giving it a 10.
All right. And Amy.
Is the Beyonder a good guy or a bad guy in this story?
He's neutral.
He's neutral. Okay.
You can see he's a bad guy because he's the one that kidnapped everybody. But
So is Doctor Doom fighting to save anything here, or just to save his own?
he wants to steal the Beyonder's power. And in doing so, he absorbed Galactus's energies. Now he is fighting the Beyonder to steal the Beyonder's power.
So you definitely
it's-
want to see Doctor Doom lose, but
Yes.
it's still a really cool. It's still a really cool cover. So this is probably standalone the coolest of the covers, and I think tells the most personal story. So I would give this one a 10.
All right. And to me, this is a 10. This is by far the best cover of the night. And I love the fact too that he's been just completely thrashed. His costume, all his armor is destroyed, and he's still got that defiant glare, that defiant stance, that a royal like himself would have, and is not backing down. And it's just awesome. So it's a 10 for me. England team.
This is absolutely a 10. The fight between him and the Beyonder, of course, he, like I said, he steals Galactus's energies, and the Beyonder just beats his ass. to the point where he goes back, part of him, he sends part of his mind back to all the heroes and the villains. And he says, I need your energies. I need your powers. Give them to me, and I can win this. And they actually have to hold Magneto back from taking him up on the offer because they know Dr. Doom will kill him in order to do this. It's everything about this book is in this one image. I absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. It's one of the best Marvel covers, and it hardly ever gets spoken of because of that stupid black suit in number 8. But this is a 10.
All right, Pixel.
Hi, Dr. Heinz Domenschwarz. No. This is a 10. This is fantastic. Just looking at it once, it makes you want to pick up the book.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Dominic.
I'm gonna give this the rare 10.
Rare
Powerful
10.
image, composition is strong, and as everyone has said so far, even when he's at his wits' end, Victor remains defiant because that is one of the major aspects of his character.
Yeah. All right, and Eric.
Why did I put a self-destruct button on my Take Galactus' Powerator? This is a 10. I'll join the chorus.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to run upstairs and go grab my Perry the platypus, but I'll refrain. Let's see. So we got a clean sweep from the panel with 8 10s. Let's see what the chat says. Glenzer is given it a 10. He says he looks thrashed, but Doom still maintains that badass and implacable conqueror spirit. JP Fawn gives it a 10. Joe Dog and 10. Jackson saying Perez says, "Oh, that's nice, boys. Let's see what I can do. Get off my lawn," and both give it. And One Slick Dude 10 for Doom Defiant, as Eric and Boyd gives it a 10 as well. Let's see, Jackson, the first good cover, but he gives it a 9. Ooh, we all want to get on Jackson or not? Let's see.
No.
Ed Bed. Oh, wait.
Sakuma says Galactus in his first appearance, though. That's true. Mojo 10, best of the series. And let's see. Glenzer saying only criticism, the wording could have been better, bolder in red beneath Doom's feet. Okay. MK gives it a solid 9. Says he also looks kind of like the Spectre a little here. Sogma gives it a 10. Asking, oh, how does one become a member of this council? Well, we can, give out the link. England team can contact you on that one. He's asking how to become a member of the council. He's calling us the council, so let's see.
Well, first of all, we're not called a council. We're the Illuminati.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Doom on his last leg. Complained about
Not sure an Illuminati gets shadow banned, but okay.
Pixel is ahead of all publics, obviously. You are the king of shadow bans. You shadow ban yourself to blend in.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Marania is saying Doom on his last legs. For those who complained about the lack of detail in the covers, shut up. This has detail. Definitely sells the book. Score it a Doom-tastic 10. Dan Alvin saying 10 and Latveria forever. All right. Interesting. Okay. Ethereal Dragon. Yeah, I think Latveria would be a nice place to visit, but I'm not sure I'd want to live there. Rhaegar saying Doom, whom Darth Vader is based in part on, who was also one of the most respected villains until, about 2019, is getting whooped, yet he still rises versus the force of nature known as the Beyonder. He gives it a 10. And I'm trying to think, did Squirrel Girl face off in the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl?
No, I think she one-punched Galactus.
Well, I know there was a horrible Galactus thing.
In her miniseries in the 90s, she defeated Dr. Doom.
In her first appearance,
Army of Squirrels.
Dr. Doom with squirrels.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Eric and Boyd, yes, I did get Steven's box score.
Pixel, if only she knew
seeing how the Illuminati was a bunch of goofy fraternity that had no power, I think you're safe. And Jackson says, yes, a little detail was a little sloppy, therefore my 9, but yes, there is detail. All right. So
Pixel,
let's see.
if she just learned that she needs to use one platypus to defeat him, she'll be golden.
No, you've learned my one weakness.
Yeah. So let's see. I think this is pretty easy. We got 3 9s and we got 21 10s.
Well, that's a
Wait, we
first.
have how many?
21.
No,
10s.
all together.
For this cover, yeah, 21 10s and 3 9s.
Wow, so we got 24 people. This is actually this is the biggest voting that we've had so far.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
actually,
awesome.
issue 9 was the biggest. We got 25 votes on
Well,
issue.
I mean the whole show, because yesterday was a Crisis, and that was a banner time. We had I think at most 17 people. We have participating. We have more people participating than viewing right now, which is kind of weird. I guess it's the panel that adds to it. Panel, get your ass on get on the channel as well.
Yeah, if you're not watching the YouTube channel, make sure you hop in there and hit the like button.
Right.
So helps the
And
algorithm.
Sagama, stick around. In all honesty, sometimes we just throw the link in and boom, join.
And JP says, "I'll see Squirrel Girl in the '80s." Yeah, well, if it's being written by Ryan North, I'm right there with you. I still like to think of that awful Squirrel Girl series as her actually being in a coma, and it's basically all of her coma fantasies being played. But we get on to something happier, issue number 11, where we get to see the face of Doom. And this one goes to Melissa to start us off. So what do you think of this cover?
Let's see. That's a very excited reaction. And it's also interesting to see Professor X, walking. I guess yeah. Yeah, it looks like Dr. Vision has a really, really nice hair, from what I could tell. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's, let's see, it should be a 9 or an 8. I think I'll go 9. That's a really strong expression, and I mean, it's hard. It's a little bit of a letdown compared to the last issue.
Oh, sure.
But it's
yeah.
like, oh, what's going to go on now? And it just,
You don't want to be the person who has to follow that,
Yeah.
but someone has to.
yep.
Yeah. All right. Amy.
Okay, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Spider-Woman look like they're wearing the same costume, right?
Right, but they're not. Hers is not a symbiote.
She doesn't have a symbiote. Okay, so his symbiote just kind of looks like did she go, hey, this is what Spider-Man's wearing, so this is what I'm gonna wear?
Nope.
No, it was the other way around, as.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's neat.
But what happened was he was supposed to go into a costume maker. They said, "Oh, it's a machine in there," and so Peter Parker goes and finds a machine, and instead of the costume maker, it was the symbiote.
Oh my goodness. And so it just took the picture, I guess, that he kind of had in his head that he wanted.
Or it was
Wow.
just that's its color.
That's just the way symbiotes look. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, good job, Spider-Woman. She's a neat character, and it looks good on her too.
She is Madam Web now. So
Madam Web?
Well,
Yeah,
well,
she-
granted,
the
Well, Baron
character
Julia,
Julia Carpenter is the current Madam Web in the current continuity.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I would, as you know, I'm happy for Dr. Doom character looking happy. That's good. But it's it's more than a little goofy looking. Thor looks like he could be like, oh my gosh, from Dexter's Lab.
Dexter's Lab.
Yeah, remember, there's the guy with
His righteous axe.
with his righteous axe.
You're talking about Valhalla.
Yeah,
yeah,
he kind of makes me think of him.
It's
Valhalla.
meant to be. They're meant to be ripoffs of the
Right? Yeah, they are, but I think it looks almost more like them than themselves, which makes me like it a little more actually. So I'll give it a 9.
A 9. All right. Yeah. There's parts of the cover that are interesting. Of course, everybody's shocked because, they're, well, except I think Reed's the only one previously that had seen the face of Doom.
Before it got disfigured.
This, beautiful visage, thanks to Galactus's and Beyonder's power and what have you. But I mean, that said, just a lot of the other poses and just looks are just too goofy for me. I mean, Professor X almost looks like a ball-headed Namor. So I'm good. So let's see, Engeltine.
What did you roboted? What did you say? Okay.
Oh, sorry. I gave it a 7.
Okay.
Boring. Meh. I'm giving it a 5. It's not great. Yeah, it's a 5. Everybody's just kind of staring around. Oh my gosh! And he's standing there glowing. It's just what's happening? What's there? Why should we care? Yeah, I think this is one of the more boring covers of the series. It might be the most boring. So yeah, 5.
Okay, 5. Pixel.
I'm gonna go 6. I know everybody's talking about everybody else, but Doom is standing there with his hip like this, and he's holding his mask to the side. It feels perfect for Pride Month. But no, like his pose is like, "Hey, how are you doing? I got my face back."
That is a lot of words just to go. Good.
All right, Dominic.
Okay. All right. I'm good. All right. Not a bad cover. However, it's not as exciting as the previous ones. Like even with the very like facial expressions and body language, it was like it does feel pretty meh, even though it helps sell the book. So I gotta give this one a 6.
A 6. Okay, Eric.
The most I can give this is a 7. There's nothing wrong with Doom's pose. Yeah, because I see where I could see where you can get that for humor's sake, but damn, the heroes, most of them just look like dorks.
Yeah.
And
right?
It's almost like someone said, yeah, Ermagerd, we got 15 minutes to go to press. We don't have a cover yet. Yeah, here, Mike, poop one out. And this is what he did. And somebody asked this, is Spider-Man wearing shoulder pads? What the hell is wrong with his shoulders?
Hey, man, we're not in the 90s yet.
And what in the hell's
he looks like Mickey Mouse's ears, but
no. So with he's been Fred Hembecked.
Looks like it.
Charles Xavier is now Asian now. He looks like Wong. And you're right; they all kind of look like dorks. But Pixel, he's not giving off like, "Hey," he's more like
he has his hand on his hip.
No. Let me talk.
He's holding the mask to the side. It's very fruity.
You little diva. He's not you.
No.
No.
Venkman, ask him if he was sashaying Shantae.
It's the Captain Morgan pose.
That's right. Thank you for not letting me talk and then saying what I was gonna say. Thank you guys. he's in the Captain Morgan. He's the king of the mountain. He is Simba. He is a god. He is handsome, and they're all shocked. You're all shocked because he is freaking awesome, dude.
He's got too much bend in his waist to be doing that.
All right. So what's your score, Venkman?
I'm giving it an 8.
An 8. All right. Well, let's see what the chat says. Glenzer is saying 7. The hero should not look like scared kids. Also, there should be tiny hearts floating around Chan's head. Ethereal Dragon gives it an 8. And let's see. Jackson says Professor X could walk at the time. It's a clone. Rhaegar says if you saw his face, you'd be shocked too. Get Off My Lawn is a 5. and Jackson is a 6. And JP says it's a very, very, very fine cover, which gives him a very, very, very fine 7. And also a 7. Iron Man looks like he's shooting Human Torch out of his hand. Mojo gives it a 7. And let's see, Steven Spock, why does Spider-Woman have a black suit? Kind of answered that. Joe Dog gives it an 8. One Slick Dude gives it a 9. Why is Reed Richards surprised? He knows what Von Doom looks like. Well, because he doesn't look like the Victor Von Doom that he remembered.
No, he changed his face.
Yeah, let's see. Jackson mentioned Spider-Woman was original. Peter was thinking that was the original plot. Whoops. Went too far here. Dan says, I remember how crazy it was that Xavier was given the power to walk again by the Beyonder. He gives it a wow 7. And let's see. Manny gives it an 8. And let's see. I thought Marania, the reactions to Doom's face from the heroes are very varied. Doom is triumphant from the last issue. What happens next? Read the book to find out. Sells the book, and she gives it a decent 9. And I thought I got Steven Spock. There we go. Cursor here. Oh, no, he asked the question. So Steven Spock gives it a 7 as well. And let's see. Thor's like, whoa, dude, are you a model? And Ronnie mentions the fact that Reed is surprised because Victor's face was older and more handsome than they were in college. And Rhaegar likes to remind us that, as we all know, Madam Web is the best superhero film in the last decade. Rhaegar also gives it a 9 because he took off his mask. It doesn't hurt. Question about Peter and the shoulder pads. Eric and Boyd says Professor X looks like an adult version of the yellow kid wearing a shirt and tie. Let's see again. Great layout, poor execution. Eric is saying I have to lower this to a 6. All right, well, let me get rid of your 7 and put it into the 6 category. And Sagma gives it 5, a mid cover overall. So 5, 9. 16, 20, 23. All right, I think we got all the scores here. I don't think I missed anybody. So let's see what we've got here. We have got a wide range. So we've got 3 5s, and we got 4 6s, and we got 7 7s, and we got 4 8s, and we got 5 9s, and no 10s. So this one is gonna just stay in the 7 category, so that will join. I think there was issue 3 in the 7 category, and that leaves us with one more issue number 12, the final issue of Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. And Amy, you get to kick us off on issue number 12.
Wow. It's very pink. So 10.
Pixel, I guess you were right about the last issue.
Wow.
Oh, look, and he's wearing the same thing as Pixel.
It's oh, how dare you?
Raise your left arm, Pixel.
My fingers are still longer.
Yeah.
But with that face, he looks more like Jerry O'Connell.
Hey guys, let me address something here. Sagma, we're basically everybody who's doing this. A lot of people anyway. We've been doing this for a long time, and we've been around each other for a long time. And basically, we'll take shots at each other. That's just the way it is. We bust nuts around here. We don't bust balls because a long time ago I made a mistake, and instead of saying we're just busting balls, I said busting nuts, and that is stuck. And that's the way it is. God bless him. Zach has been taking our shit for 3 years about one phrase he said. Easy. I accidentally ripped a freaking E off of a Justice League during an auction. I will never stop hearing about that. Just everybody's got the thing. It's just a
and I put your words when I read them, so I can't.
He can't freaking speak. I don't understand.
Yeah. So
There you go.
that's the biggest joke of all, is that Venkman, who can't read, actually hosts multiple
Readings.
multiple streams.
But he has other people read.
For me.
I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't think it was insulting to say. I mean, his costume looks nice. I don't think there's anything wrong
No,
with it.
it's not you.
Oh,
No. The thing
It's
is,
not Amy.
Sogma gave a low score to the last book, and so I believe it was Rhaegar. Rhaegar jokingly says, "Oh, kick Sogma," and he says, "Why?" And I'm explaining it. Not to worry, man. You're if someone's busting your nuts, you're part of the crowd, or you're under the bridge with my crowd. So there you go.
As long as there's consent.
Yeah. So
Unlike
Amy,
under the bridge.
yeah. So Amy, you sticking with the 10?
Oh, sure. Why not? Last cover of the night. It's pink, and that it makes me think of Pixel. So there you go. Looks like one of my friends is on pink. That's amazing.
All right.
When you're what?
One of my
And
friends.
friends.
Okay.
And friends. Yep. All the and friends are dead on the ground. So
I feel like they're probably okay because they're in comics now, though, right?
yeah. Well, at the time you don't know. So
No, nobody in comics right now are okay.
Well, no,
that's
you're
true.
right.
That is
Jackson-
definitely true.
Hey, Jackson Ray Kirk, that is your name. Accept it. We've done it for 2 years.
Yeah. At this point, you're Ray Kirk. It's we pronounce the O as an A. You're good.
I'm going to convince your mama to call you Ray Kirk.
And I know we have the American flag up there, but we're actually all Canadian, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not going to score it quite as high. I mean, I do like it. Of course, it's a really interesting cover because here you're seeing, oh my God, the villain is won. What's going on here? All our heroes are defeated. Doom is standing tall. All is lost. But of course, when you open up the comic book, that may or may not be the case. And it's a good Doom pose. It's just not great. So I'll score it a 9 because I do like the way that Doom is drawn. So England team.
Yes. Oh, my turn. All righty. Let's see what we are looking at here. I'm almost done getting at least stuff together for the auction tomorrow. Dead bodies on the ground, and I guess Dr. Doom is now finishing up his musical number.
That makes it better.
Yeah, obviously we're getting the Kang version of Dr. Doom here that ended up being his toy. Didn't he have a little shield on his chest that had messages or something? This is a good 9 cover. That's a good look on. It's like Jack Nicholson from Easy Rider is playing Dr. Doom. I dig on this.
Mm-hmm.
I dig on this.
Thanks. Now I see Christian Slater.
There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8. 8.
Oh,
Good,
8.
solid, very good cover. There you go.
Okay. Well, first he said it was a 9 cover. And then
I know I changed my mind.
All right. Pixel.
Actually, I forgot I said 9.
So I feel small changes. No, I don't feel that way. I think that this is the final cover of Secret Wars.
It is. Yes.
Well, yes, I know that, that it is. I feel
It's
like
good that you feel that way.
As it's the last cover that we have, I don't think it's a great finisher compared to, say, Infinite Wars. But this one it's still really good. I still love the heroes on the ground with Doom victorious. So it's a 9, but its placement it's not a good ending for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Dominic.
Yeah, this is I'll give this one a 9. The color, not a color, the cover, like informs readers that this is the end. And however they even like how I like Doom is like posing himself like I guess like the incapacitated heroes. Really, it makes me want to know okay, like how does this happen, and are they going to succeed in stopping Victor?
Right. So
Angleton,
you're a 9.
Yep.
All right.
Angleton, did you also start singing "This is the end, my friend"?
Yes,
No, that was me. That was me humming. Eric,
I did too. I guess it was both of
okay.
us.
Is this the end for you, Eric?
Buy my toy. It comes with or without the mask. I want to know is why it's of all the faces he could pick, he chose the Molecule Man.
Who's in a hurry?
Either that or you know, at this point, I don't even know if it's a Zek cover. It's a little limited in his
I think this actually is a Zek cover by himself.
It's just this is an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
All right. Vinkman.
Remember we said Captain America looked like he was ready to poop? Get the same kind of mouth teeth, and like he's just grinding his teeth. He's just like, oh yeah. It's like
I'm beginning to think that you've got a condition or an issue here because you're seeing like everybody looks like they're about to, use the bathroom here. So
You do kind of have a fecal fetish here today. Yes.
fecal fetish. I'm the one that brought it up the first time.
It was me who was
Exactly.
about Captain America being constipated. So I mean,
So you're saying that you've been partners for so long, you're starting to think alike?
We both get shitty ideas, okay?
Okay.
I
so
want to
end your score, Vinkman.
well, let me finish talking. I'll get to my score, okay? So I went waiting for my turn here. I've been scanning the chat and stuff, and Manny brought up a thing I was thinking too. This is the Red Skull pose, back in the Captain America when he was holding the skull or the box. Cosmic Cube. Yeah.
If you were Barf, you could just throw one up.
Wasn't that a great series, Secret Empire? I heard they're doing a sequel. Yeah.
So you're saying he's gleaming the cosmic cube?
Yes, he is gleaming the Cosmic Cube. Yes.
Going to that Christian Slayer. All right.
Honestly, I'm giving this a 9.
A 9. All right. Another 9 there.
The only reason
let's see,
a 9 is
Okay. So this popped in my head when he mentioned it looked like he was getting ready for his big musical number. You were a fool. Now I will rule all of your world.
There you go.
I think it's an 8.
So a songful 8. All right. All right. Let's see what our chat has here on the last cover tonight. Glenzer gives it an 8. Let's see. Ethereal Dragon gives it an 8 as well. And let's see. Glenzer sees that Amy is a Barbie fan. One Slick Dude gives it an 8. Pink background doesn't work with Doom. Ethereal Dragon says Doom has a better taste. Manny, as you mentioned, Venkman, he says a Red Skull pose and gives it a 7. And we get an 8 from Eric and Boyd. And let's see. Rhaegar says he has fake Doom face, and Jackson gives it a 7. And let's see. JP is saying Doom triumphant or Doom doing Hamlet. Surprisingly, I think that works in both aspects. So he gives it a Shakespearean 8. And let's see. Ethereal Dragon is claiming that Englantine's a monster.
Yes.
Let's see. Mariah saying Doom looking triumphant over the bodies of the fallen heroes. Was the Big Bang the heroes being defeated or after an orgy? Worst of the Doom cover. 8. Joe Dog and Steven Spock both give it an 8. And let's see, Ethereal Dragon is channeling his inner evil black cat, saying Breen is so old that he is the first human to wear clothes. Let's see. Rhaegar, yes, your government name is Hey, little Rhaegar. And let's see. My thing here scrolled up. And let's see. Dan Alvin gives it a 6. And Glenzer is noting issues 1 to 11 were 75 cents. Issue 12 was $1. Nice way to milk your customers, Marvel. Yeah, they kind of have a history of that.
Wasn't this extra size though?
Yes, it was. It's a double size. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
my lawn gives us a 9, and we'll get off your lawn for the rest of the night. And Rhaegar says, I'm giving it a perfect 10 because Doom was Kang's. All righty then. Let's see. Movie Mojo gives it a 7. And let's see. Jackson, that's because Pixel's fingers tower to the high heavens. Yep. You don't need to build a ladder to heaven. You just need Pixel's fingers to do it. Let's see. Sagma gives it a 6. Says, if comics have taught me anything, it's not to trust the cover. And this cover does not help. It's not convincing or interesting, really, but better than the last. Let's see. So is it a long September? And there's a reason to believe. Let's see. MK is giving it a 7. And a 3-year-old dragon says, hey, a platypus comes in. Perry's around here somewhere. Let's see.
Platypus?
If Doom is cheesing on a cover, it's a bad day for the heroes, but it's probably an exciting read. Let's see. And perhaps you need a doctor. Any more scores here?
Giving the news.
And
Bad case of loving you.
I guess saying here, Marania wins the funny comment contest this stream. It's been going so long, I don't remember, so I'm not sure what Marania's funniest comment was there. But it looks like I've got all the scores here. 15 and 20.
That
Wow.
Dr. Doom pose is how Darkness Comes looks after he wins an auction and a firefight. And by the way, I love the response by Rhaegar. Or when Darkness Comes super chats E on a drunk stream.
There is that too. So we finish out. Thank you, everybody. We finish out getting 24 votes on issue 12.
Also,
That
if
is
you haven't
awesome.
voted in the poll, go vote in the poll right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so since issue 3, we've gotten 21 or more, or 20 or more votes on every issue. So thank you, everybody, for sticking around. Obviously, it means you guys have been having a great time, both listening to us and in the chat, and we can't thank you enough. So
And these, they have been growing. Now, granted, Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, it's one of the most popular series. Obviously, it's going to get a little bit more views than, say, romance comics. Guys, come on, watch it at least. It's yeah.
What was the other comment by Ethereal Dragon?
That I was a monster?
No. The one after he mentioned a platypus walking in.
If they're Perry the Planet, I do not know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so anywho, first of all, to explain that, every time I have a drunk stream, Darkness Comes waits until I'm at 3 sheets and I say, this has got to end. And he'll come in and it'll be like, kaboom, done. And yeah, okay, what is this? Thank you, Rhaegar, for the, it was the orgy comment. Okay, alrighty, there we go. All right. But thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it.
Rhaegar, we're not really clear on that. Can you send another comment?
Yep.
I think a $5 or a $10 would actually clear our thoughts a little bit.
I don't know. $100 might give enough. Do you have enough to type a paragraph and we'll read it?
For $100, hey, I might go Buddhist. So you know.
Yeah.
Nudist?
All right.
Wait,
So
nudist?
for the final issue,
Buddhist. Okay.
with 2 6s, 4 7s, 11 8s, 5 9s, and 2 10s, which of course means that this issue lands in the 8s. So to do what England team does over here, here's our final list of 12. We've got issue 3 and issue 11 in the 7s. Are you guys good with this, or should
Issue 3 is the worst.
everybody agree with that? Issue 3 is the worst.
No,
All
but
right.
the other one's boring. Okay, either way, I don't know.
Well,
Issue 3 is the worst one. Yeah.
issue
All
3
right,
is the worst.
issue 3 is the worst.
All right, so for the 8 category, we've got issues 5, 7, and 12. So who thinks issue 5 is the best?
Yeah, I do.
I do.
Okay, that's England team's got a vote. Anybody else?
And look, now you can see them both grinning side by side.
Yeah. Issue 7.
I
You
think
like-
that's the best. Out of the 3, I think that
Okay.
one stands out.
Pixel saying 7. Eric, do you have a preference? Venkman, you got a preference?
For which ones?
12 and
All right.
7 on the
Very
very
good.
goods.
Yeah. Between 12 and 7 here in the 8s.
As far as which is worse, the Captain America's worse.
Okay.
Agreed.
So okay. But okay, so you think
There you go.
oops. Okay, so that order, you
Yeah.
guys good with that?
Yeah.
Now here comes the fun part. We've got 6 covers in the in the 9 category.
Wow.
So let's see. I'm starting from the top. Eric, which one do you think is the best?
Number 4.
Number 4, Hulk holding the rock. Okay, Vinkman.
Oh, man. As far as going for worst or best?
Best.
Best.
Okay. Man.
I mean,
I still like the first cover.
Okay, so you still like number 1 the best.
Yeah.
Okay. Melissa, which is your favorite of the 9s?
Oh, let's see. My favorite 9 cover. Let me get just a little closer. All right. I would say it's number 4.
Okay, so we got 2 for Hulk. Amy?
I think number 1 probably looks the best, but number 4 is the most interesting, so that's hard.
You got to make a choice.
Yeah.
Choose
Oh, I-
Sophie.
What?
Said choose Sophie.
Who's Sophie?
Oh, my goodness. He did not. You're young people. What are we gonna do with them? Seriously,
Yeah.
you know, Sophie's choice.
Yeah,
You got to be careful where and how you say that.
and I'm honestly shocked that Venkman knows that reference. I didn't think he
I
watched
know,
it.
right?
I mean, he says it every freaking night sometimes on the panel here. It's like it's instilled history lessons.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
it's funny, but I
Yeah.
think the most striking is the Spider-Man in the black costume. Just because it has that kind of like golden age, like solid color and a strong silhouette. There's a bunch of noise in there, but just
Okay.
glancing over them at this kind of a display, that one kind of pops up to the most, I think.
Okay, so you're voting for number 8. All right. Well, I'm going to vote for number 9. I know I'm not going to win, but or is it 6? Whichever
Well,
the villain.
You're out of
The
control.
villain cover.
Yeah. So that's my favorite of those, even though I know I'm not going to win. England team.
Wow, you know, I am actually caught between, because, you know, looking at them in the little box there, I'm caught between 1 and 6. And I'm thinking, you know what, LK, I'm going to back you up on that. There's 2 votes for 1. There's 2 votes for 6.
No, I think actually you only have 1 vote for 1. We've got 2 votes for 4 and 2 votes for 6.
I thought I heard 2 people saying number 1.
Well, no, Amy was going between 1, 4, and then
Okay.
8.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So, Pixel.
I gotta say number 1. Michael Zack's best cover is Doom is really great. I wasn't here to talk about number 1, but this was the first like real comic event I ever read.
Okay.
That cover is fantastic.
All right. So Dominic, are you going to vote for 8?
I'm actually gonna vote for 6.
6. All right. Well, that's 3 votes for 6. So
Did you get Eric's?
Yeah, Eric started us off. He voted for 4.
Okay.
So we wound up with 3 votes for 6.
Well, that's
4 and 2 for 8.
yeah. So that just leaves the last. I think they're in fine order right here.
No. Anybody
Yeah, there
disagree?
you go.
I'm fine with it.
It's quite nice.
All right. So that's our order then. And of course, the one with the record breaking a number of 10s, issue number 10 is a 10.
There you go.
Thanks to the larger crowd size, that beat what was it? Issue number 7 of Crisis yesterday.
Yeah. Although, I mean, if we'd had 24 people on that, I think
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure 24 people would have voted for number 7.
gotten
Yep.
that. But yeah, so that does it for this. Again, thank you. Record turnout tonight. We really appreciate it. Hopefully, we just keep this growing and growing.
I also want to ask everybody who's here tonight. Remember, there's an auction going on tomorrow. So if you have money,
That's
and
what I've been working. Hey, let me supersize me. Thank you very much for bringing that.
You're already big enough as it is.
Yeah. Okay, I did a whole video earlier, but just the short version is these are some of the big dogs. We've got this was a giveaway at a GM event, and it's called The Amazing Spider-Man Riot at Robo World. And then we found that this was a big dog. This is Zap Comics. All right, part of the 1970s underground. We then also have this is issue number 3 of Vampirella. This is what they call a virgin variant, but I do not think she is a virgin. This is issue number 3, the photo. There you go. Next up, we've got some Lady Death. This is, what is this? The Battle Babes issue of Lady Death, Queen of the Dead. Now, these are the big dogs. These are probably going to be around the 6 to 8s right here. Okay, of course it didn't come up. There we go. All righty, next up we had Lady Death. This is Black Lands issue 1/2. It's a wraparound cover. All righty. And then we've got Lady Death Black Lands issue number 1. This is the gold foil. And it comes with a certificate of authenticity that says that this is only 1 in 625 copies.
I know who
And
she's
then-
not running into there.
Right. Then we have Lady Death, Abandon All Hope, issue 1/2. And this one is signed by Brian Paluto.
Is she seeing a dinosaur?
Yep, looks like it.
Or a skull.
And it does come with a certificate of authenticity that is Brian Paluto's signature. We have Purgatory, issue number 1, the red foil variant.
Shiny.
Shiny. We have Vampirella Monthly 0 Ashcan series. And then we have Vampirella Hell on Earth Ashcan. Alrighty. I got 3 Christmas comics. Spider-Man Christmas in Dallas. And then we have Bugs Bunny Christmas Funnies. And we have issues number 3 and 5 of this. This is these are going to show up again in December. I am actually stockpiling Christmas books as I come to them. There you go. And with this one, you kind of get that My Light thing with it. So I'm just going to put a bag and backing board in each one of those. This, I was surprised to find out, is a very expensive book. This is a Halloween special of Vampirella. And it's the Virgin variant. And this is a Harris comic. This is not one of the Dynamites. So this is like...
Really?
Say again?
I wish you had like a Halloween hat or a pumpkin, so you would go, "Hey, it's Halloween."
I'm trying to think. Which book does it say the interior? What it is? The cover?
Yeah.
Venkman needs to do some research.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Well, no,
it is Donald Carson's limited edition, limited to 500 copies. This is Vampirella Quarterly Halloween. This is all the...
okay, that's cool.
Okay. And so I was looking it up, and there's some people selling this for 60. I'm not going to sell it for 60. I got it for a better price. I can lower the price for you guys.
To $6. Yes.
I'm sorry. I was a trifle not listening, but yeah. Next up, we have Wonder Woman issue number 270.
Oh, that's cute.
Well,
The
I was
human.
gonna mention that that's you've got some other autographed comics this week too.
Yeah, that Lady Death. Which one did I miss?
Well, there was the Vampirella with the autograph by Nelson.
Oh, that's right. Is that coming up, or did
Castro.
I pass it? Yeah, that must.
Castro.
that must be coming up. We have Archie's Joke Book, issue number 88.
Oh, neat.
Big Ethel, why are you putting that maple syrup on your face? I thought it'd go well with my pancake makeup. Okay, there we go. All right.
Mhm.
We've got some Bugs Bunny. I have the numbers, but I have to write them on the back so I can actually. These are all 1950s, early 60s. So
My
we got Walt Disney Comics issue number 237,
Oh, there you go.
and we've got some more Looney Tunes. Now this one is 1952, I believe. The Elmer Fuds, I believe, are 1959 and 1960. Here we go. This one, I can't tell. It might be 1953. We talked about this. This was an interesting book because the listing said it was Popeye Classics. They were doing some reprinting a few years back of Popeye comics, and it said it was Popeye Classics 23. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to get a 2019 comic book. Maybe I can sell it $5 or $6. And what they sent me was the actual Golden Age comic book.
Oh, good. Oh.
Yeah, so it's a January 1953 copyright date.
Yeah, so here I was thinking, a little crunch there, I noticed.
But
Here I was thinking I was going to get this 2019 book, and hey, good surprise.
original.
Yeah, next up we have World's Finest, issue number 160.
Cool.
And then this one I think I'm going to move to the $5 books. It's a little crunched. Action Comics 325 with Super Skyscraper Superman, baby.
Huh.
Yep. Alrighty, and then we've got Adventure Comics issue 382 with Supergirl trying to break into the Fortress of Solitude.
She's got a key.
Well, yeah, the whole thing was Superman had this giant key that only you could lift. Well, of course, Supergirl could lift it too.
Can't do.
And so she's trying to get into his man cave. Let's see, and I believe this was issue number 19 of Aquaman. It's actually in pretty good shape, but one of the flaws that it does have as part of the number was scratched off. So,
Harry Mara, at least. What's he say? Harry Mara, at least you and I can escape into the dimensional warp. No, if Aquaman dies, I die with him. Oh.
And of course, now if it were today, it would be like, yeah.
I'll get us both away by shitting in the monster's mouth. She was played by Amber Heard. That's the
Okay.
Jokes aren't funny if you have to explain them. I get it. All righty, kids. This is Strange Tales number 138. This is the first appearance of the Living Tribunal.
But aren't they supposed to be funny without explaining them?
Yes.
I feel like that guy's going to have a pretty bad time here.
I think that might be Nick Fury.
That is Nick Fury. Yes.
It
Strange
looks like-
Tales. Strange Tales was both Doctor Strange and Nick Fury. But
Wait,
like
you
I said,
can't fool me. That's Dracula on the cover.
this
Yeah,
is the
that's
first, first appearance of the Living Tribunal. And as I was saying earlier, if you watch the video,
Hey, Zach.
everybody's got their grails. Everybody has books they search after in their first appearances. And I am very happy to say that now, at least until the auction, I am the proud owner of the first appearance of Paste Pot Pete.
Whoa.
Yes,
Paste Pot
I
Pete.
know, right? Yes. Anybody with a name like Paste Pot Pete needs your respect.
They look like they're pretty stuck.
He ends up becoming the Trapster, but I liked his name when it was Paste Pot Pete. This is, by the way, this is absolutely what they call a reader copy. It is not in great shape, but the weird thing is, even in the not great shape that it's in, it's a $20 to $40 book.
Well, I mean, it's got Paste Pot Pete. That's got to be a pretty good read, right?
Right?
I
Yes, right? The ticker should read that the auction starts anywhere from 8 to 8:40. It's England Teen Standard Time. Thank you for pointing that out and understanding my truth.
Mhm.
Yeah, my truth is time goes at my own pace. And the final big dog. This is the big dog of the night. This is Fantastic Four number 27. It's one of my favorite covers.
Oh, wow. Look at how cool that is.
Mhm.
Nice colors.
There you go. And this one will probably be $60. There you go. All right, because the centerfold is detached at the staple set. All righty, but there you go. Those are some big dogs for tomorrow, and I've been doing a lot of taping and such. LK and I were looking because it just so happens that I've got some of the underground comics from the 1970s, and we've never had these before. I can only sell these to the adults, so yeah, because these definitely live up to their reputations. But there you go. Yep, like I said, we got a lot of underground. So it's an exciting auction, and the giveaways tomorrow. I pointed out the Batman Two-Face strikes twice. It's a 2-issue miniseries, and I thought I had something else. I know I've got the usual stuff, the Justice League and such, but I thought I had something else. Oh well. There you go. I'll have to figure it out. Anyway, there you go. I'm done. Thanks for letting me do that on my channel. On my channel.
No problem. And of course, Zach comes in, late after the fact. Yes, we're all done. We're wrapping up here. And the big winner was Secret Wars number 10. That was the lone book to get a 10.
10 out of 10.
So we've had a great time going almost 2.5 hours here. So again, appreciate everybody hanging on. Oh,
where do we stand? Let's see. We end the poll, and here we have. Is it going to even be close? Out of 26 votes, Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur got 11%. Terry Toons 11%. Teen Titans: The Silver Age 38%. And Jungle Comics 38%. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie. So what I'm proposing is we'll do one night on Sunday and then one on Monday. What do y'all think?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could do one tomorrow night during the auction.
No, I'm good. I'd rather look at and judge these covers. Okay,
Yeah.
like the heaving bosom of Spider-Woman. We could here you go. Yeah.
Is that a scrapbook?
No, this is actually issue number 33. Yeah, the guy in the scrapbook is basically being it. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's got pixel fingers.
Yeah.
Yes, she does.
Well, and again, just to show you the difference in modern day comics, week's Spider-Woman, almost a similar pose where she's kind of flying and arching backwards, and she barely has bumps. It was so depressing. I'm like, what have they done to my girl?
They took her back to middle school or junior high back when we were
And right,
I
like
was
she's
that worse.
Well, no, they
Jessica and the other characters deserve better than how they're being treated by most of today's quote unquote creators.
doing is they're comparing her to the Dynamite covers where they have a girl supposed to be Red Sonja, but she's like an A cup for some reason. Why are you cosplaying as a character?
kind of like the movie.
Yep.
Yep. But that is a topic for another day. I think we're good here and probably wrap things up for the night. So we know we've got the auction tomorrow night. Between 8 and 8:30 Eastern is the start time.
Yep.
We'll hopefully try and get closer to the 8 o'clock Eastern there. Let's see. Venkman, what do you have coming up this weekend?
Well, I'm gonna have 2 readings tomorrow morning, being airing around 9 a.m. Eastern, and then after that, guys, go check out Dr. Silver Age. He'll be doing a stream. This morning, Saturday morning. Later on the night during the auction, I will be having
it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
well, I'm sorry. He asked me, so I'm giving him an honest answer.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So yeah, you've
Yeah.
got readings both Saturday and Sunday, don't you?
We do readings on the channels Friday through Monday night.
Oh, okay.
So there's always a reading on.
We're very busy boys.
Yeah.
Our
I know
thing
you've been-
is that it's better to have something at least every night versus you're guessing when we're going live. No.
Well, that's true. And Pixel, I know you've been busy. I saw that you had did a stream with Graphic Man on Wednesday, right?
Yes. Make sure to go ahead and check out the Graphic Man channel to go ahead and see an evening with Professor Pixel, much like tonight, except more personal and less beer. So
And
there you go.
It's called "This Is Your Life," Professor.
This
Pixel.
is your life.
Yeah. And then what are
and okay. If
Well,
you're
I was
not
gonna say,
if you're available on Wednesday, we can do our manga and anime side of things.
Yeah, well, definitely with the spring season wrapping up here, we can talk about the things that we liked and didn't like from this spring season. There was definitely some really great stuff. So we'll have to tape one this week, for the channel. Probably do more like say a premiere type show, but we'll post that. Pixel, I was going to ask, what are you and Rob reviewing on Sunday on the Extreme Movie Show?
Yes, make sure to check out the Extreme Movie Show. This Sunday, we're going to be doing a ranking of Columbo Season 1 plus the 2 movies before.
Oh, nice.
For a season.
Very good.
Yes. We're going to be ranking those this Sunday. Don't miss it.
Classic show.
Yep, and actually, I was watching some Season 3 episodes because Great American Family was running some Columbo the past couple days. I think actually they've got a marathon on Sunday. Definitely good stuff. So again, thanks for being here, Melissa and Amy. Again, thanks for joining us. I know you've got some projects, not quite ready for public viewing yet, but good luck on those. Let's see, and going around the horn here, Eric. Again, thanks for joining us. I know you'll be on a variety of streams and what have you this weekend. Anything?
No, actually not. The auction tomorrow.
Okay.
Puppet Sunday, and as this turns into an Englentinian length goodbye, I'm going to say goodbye a bit earlier because I got to get up in the morning. So good night, kids.
Oh, man.
Good night, Eric. And I think with that, we'll say good night to everybody else. Again, thanks for joining us. And we will see you. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow. If not, we'll see you on Sunday with the next round of comic book rankings. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Night, everyone.